Hey, welcome back. It is Chris Nichols, and look who's joining me, Ted Forbes. It's not Fort Worth, Texas. What are you doing up here?
Alberta. We've been talking about this for a long time. I came up for the Stampede, saw a little Banff. Nice to finally be up here in Calgary.
But I have to say, this is the last time we're going to be friendly with each other because the context of our video today, we're having a shootout. So I'm going to be using the Canon EOS R6 Mark II. What is your weapon of choice
My
today?
weapon of choice is going to be the Sony a7 IV.
Right.
And I must warn you now that you are going to be very nice later because you're going to be begging for forgiveness.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
See, it's already started.
Absolutely.
Texans. Okay, Ted, so, I mean, not many rules, right? Just obviously no, like, groin hits, no gouging of eyes, no hair pulling. I know how much you love to pull hair, but we're going to have some structure. I mean, we're just going to go through things like autofocus, image quality, handling. We're going to see how they compete, right? The ambulance is already coming for you because you're going to be destroyed.
Oh, really? Is that what that's
yes,
for?
You'll be
You
destroyed.
called them fans.
I do, yeah, well, yeah, we just get hurt a lot out here. So we're gonna pop into the camera store though for one little surprise thing, okay? We just have 24 105 f4s. I know, boring. So I'm gonna let you go in there. Camera store is taking care of us. You're gonna let us borrow one lens of our choosing, obviously for Sony, and I will choose one for my Canon. Let's get in there.
Fair enough. Let's go.
You're gonna take this 35-2.8? What are you gonna take?
Not
F2?
No, F2. Actually, I'm a 50 man. That's where I feel like I can really take you to the mat. Is with a 50. With a 50. But not the 1.2. 50 millimeter f1.4 G Master. Chris, I'm so sorry that Canon was your choice because we're in here choosing lenses, and I had a lot of fun over there with.
Yeah, we'll get to that part of the company. I'm just happy you didn't choose a 35mm for your sake. That's okay because Canon make enough lenses for the discerning and incredibly skilled photographer to make magic happen.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with an oddball. I'm going with the 600mm f11 fixed prime, light enough to carry all day. We got tons of light outside. I will have something way beyond the envelope.
F11.
Okay, Ted, so first category, handling. I think I've got you beat, but what we're going to do here, because we're never going to agree.
I think I have you beat.
Okay, so clearly we're not going to agree. We're just going to argue. So Jordan's actually going to be the judge. All right.
Okay.
So why don't you plead your case on your camera?
You know, people complain about the Sony all the time. It's an online thing. You got to get behind the keyboard, not behind the Sony. You just get behind the keyboard, rattle off image. You hate the ergonomics. They have never bothered me, and I think that if they bother you, get a hand grip or a battery grip, and I think you'll be fine. Another thing that flies under the radar a little bit is that Sony do make adjustments to the ergonomics of these cameras, and they don't really talk about it on the release because they're excited about technologies and other things. I have noticed because as somebody who owned the original A7S, you hold that up now, it's a very different camera. So the grip is much better. You have things like the joystick placement, the AF on button is good. It's good. They have gotten a lot better, and I think people hold an old stigma against them sometimes.
So hands-wise, I mean, you have same size.
All right.
Whoa! Look at the same size hands. Look at that. Well, we're agreeing again. Yeah. Because I'm insurmountably gracious, I can agree with Ted that the Sony handling is actually quite decent, but it's no Canon EOS body design, so he can still go himself. The EOS R6 Mark II, I mean, we have the same size hands, Ted and I, but this grip feels very comfortable and also comfortable for people with larger hands. Great autofocusing joystick, great AF on. It's no mistake that Canon has kept the same handling design choices carrying through from the old EOS days all the way through to, well, this beautiful camera here. So, Jordan, who wins?
You know what? For these giant man hands here, I'm gonna give the win to the Canon.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, go yourself, Ted.
Been at it already, had my tarot read. Things are looking up for me, that's what my tarot said. Been pumping out pheromones and wearing red. Young Jerry.
Faster, Ted.
That's right, baby. You're supposed to film all this in slow motion. That's what I do.
It looks like it.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about image quality next, Ted, and I've got a great platform here. I mean, yes, it's 24 megapixels, but that's fine for skilled photographers.
24 megapixels, 33.
Fine. It's a weird number. Nobody else does it for a reason. Everybody else does 24.
Really?
So here, look at these charts, okay? So Bill Claff was great to help us out at Photons to Photos, and you can see, like, dynamic range on the Canon is excellent. Yes, it's similar to Sony, but that doesn't mean it's not excellent. I mean, I'm getting beautiful colors out of this thing. It's a very fast scan rate, reads way faster than your sensor, so I can actually shoot in electronic shutter mode as well. It's a great image taker. It's a beautiful sensor.
Yeah, but we haven't really talked about noise reduction. You know, the great thing I will say, Chris, about your camera is you're getting really good noise reduction. I mean, it's baking it in.
Whether I like it or not, I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up.
You will have noise reduction because Canon does bake it in with this sensor. With the Sony, you're getting a 33 megapixel sensor. You're getting, as we can see here, the same dynamic range, and you're getting more megapixels. So I think the winner here is going to be the Sony.
Good thing it's not up to you, Ted. Jordan, who's the winner?
It is obviously Sony. Unless you shoot electronic shutter.
Yeah, great.
Then Chris wins.
Fro-yo knows frozen yogurt.com. Doesn't have the same ring, but yeah, I still want a shirt.
You gotta be quick and stealth. Autofocus, Chris, it's time. We've got to talk about the autofocus performance. Because
I'm happy to, because, you know, let me go first here, Ted. This camera actually has beautiful autofocus. I mean, everybody knows.
Agreed.
Canon has improved their autofocusing game dramatically in the last few years. Eye Detect here works well. Animal Detect works exquisitely well.
The feature here is going to be the tracking mode. I think it just kills it for the Sony. And my personal opinion, if you were, you know, you're putting your money into a camera system, and autofocus is a big deal.
Yes.
I think for me, you have subject recognition, which is great in the Canon. They have upped their game. But when you get into obscure subjects, planes, trains, do you need a mode for that? Because tracking autofocus is kind of your fallback on that. Unless there's an eye in the frame, I think tracking pretty much solves it. The other thing that's great about the Sony is that the autofocus is pretty much identical in both stills and video modes. This is really good if you're a hybrid shooter. A lot of people who watch my channel think that I'm only going to
watch your channel?
Yeah, okay, well, a couple. But both of them have told me, though, that, you know, I'm only going to talk about the stills performance. But the reality is that I shoot all my own videos, and the reason that I shoot them with Sony is because I can trust the autofocus. It's just going to work.
Well, I will give you that the tracking's slightly more effective. I will give you that in video it's quite a bit more effective. But I'm not the judge. Jordan, who wins?
It's clearly Sony.
Yeah, see?
Good job, Ted.
Okay, Ted, how about a showdown? Do you have a moderately weather-sealed body like I do?
I have a moderately weathered sealed body like you do, whatever that means. Do you have a fully articulating flip-out screen?
Of course I've got a fully articulating flip-out screen.
Hey, we're tied.
Yeah, do you have a 3.69 million EVF?
I do have a 3.69 million EVF, and you look marvelous in here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But do you have 5 stops of in-body image stabilization?
Oh, I have 8 stops of in-body image stabilization, so go fish.
Okay, so that is going to be a winner on the Canon.
Yeah, I think this is very clear.
And
8 is bigger than 5 last time I checked.
So I've got, again, some very specific thoughts on this. I think that the IBIS and the Sony, it works fine for stills.
Okay.
In video, it's just micro jitter central. And the thing that frustrates me about it is Sony always, with every camera release, improved IBIS. It looks the same as it did in the last. What was improved? They never tell you.
You're being very kind to say that. I mean, I will say the Canon IBIS is fantastic, works in conjunction with their lenses, but in video, it also does have some little jiggles. You get some wobbly wobblies, so.
Too bad we didn't bring a Panasonic today.
Okay, but I still won by 3.
I concur.
Bro, do you even burst, Ted? Because we're going to talk about burst rates next.
All right, burst rates.
I'm going to let you go first because every sad story should have a happy ending.
That's not even fair. If you
Well,
can't,
that's totally fair.
if you can't get it done in 10, and I'm talking 10 frames a second, and that is with shooting raw and JPEG.
Yeah, let's be honest.
And that's
Ted.
mechanical and that's electronic. That should be plenty. However, if you're a lossless raw kind of guy,
Yeah, which we all should be. Then what does it go down to?
6 frames a second.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You know what, Ted? Some of us need 12 to get it done, but we get it done right, okay? We get that in full raw format. So That's really nice. You know what else is really nice?
What else is really nice?
What else is really nice is the fact that I can go into electronic shutter mode, and because my sensor reads out way faster than yours, I can go up to 40 frames per second if I really need to. Yes, there's some rolling shutter, but in certain situations, I can just machine gun. I can just take out entire beaches of photographs.
You can have an entire card full of 24 megapixel images to sort through when you get home.
All right, so let's talk video now. As someone who shoots his own video and does not have a cameraman, Sony actually is my personal choice. And speaking from experience, the reasons why, I do it for S-Log3. We've got 10-bit video now. It really does look good. I think S-Cinetone is really a great alternative for people who don't want to grade and post. Those are the pros. There are a few cons, a little jitter on the IBIS we talked about earlier, so I know it's not perfect, but I would pick the A7 any day for video.
So Ted, I will give you, you've got, okay, a little bit better video autofocus for sure. It's a very capable video camera, but I got you beat. I mean, I've got C-Log here as well. I can shoot 10-bit video. I've got 4K 60p oversampled, no crop, okay? You can't touch that. And then on top of that, let's talk rolling shutter, because your camera looks great until you move it even a little bit. Whereas this camera, I've got fast readout. I'm not gonna get weird diagonals. I'm not gonna get too many wobbles. I mean, this is a fantastic video camera, and it really borrows a lot from Canon's Cinema series of cameras.
Chris wins.
I win. Ted, bro, battery life. Do you even SEPA?
Bro, I SEPA hard. So when I SEPA, I get about 580 shots, says SEPA.
Damn.
On one battery.
I SEPA at 580 shots as well. So
SEPA.
now we know that
It's
that
kind
SEPA
of a tie, man.
Yeah, it's a tie. Jordan, what do we do? It's
SEPA's
a tie.
No. So you might have the same SEPA rating, but I find I get just over an hour of record time on the Canon R6 II. I get like just under 2 hours on the Sony. So the Sony wins.
You've always been against me. He's always been against me.
All right, Chris, it's time now to talk about the lens category.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah, you do. You want to talk about it
I
because
don't wanna do this
Canon's got some nice stuff. I saw you.
Yeah, they do have some, and you know what? There's rumors that they're going to be opening up their lens lineup, and they're going to have tons of lenses. It's a solid rumor.
No. We're not going to base a category here on hearsay. It's not going to happen. So, for lenses, I definitely think Sony. I mean, it's clear. They make it very clear. Every time they release one, you get the number in the lineup. They're up to 70-something.
Fine, yes, you win. Easy. We don't even need Jordan. Jordan, we don't even need you. Jordan, we don't even need you. Nobody needs you. 10 wins. Sony wins. Yeah. Well, I think we've had a healthy competition, Ted, but I think it's time for us to come together, because the fact is, I've got 4 categories, you've got 4 categories, it's a tie, and that makes sense because these cameras are really both nice to use, aren't they?
You know, Chris, I think you're right. I've talked about, if it were my money, what would I put into the system, and I honestly think you can't go wrong with either one of these.
Sure.
I could buy either one, and I wouldn't feel guilty about either purchase, and I think that's the thing. It's more important, like, what you're going to do with these cameras, and I think both of them are very capable and allow you to do some amazing things creatively.
Well, hopefully our friendly competition has helped people out there decide if it was their money, which way they would go. Please do leave your comments below, and definitely check out the Art of Photography with Ted Forbes. We love having you here.
Yeah, this has been great, and you guys are awesome, and we're
I
old
appreciate
friends.
that.
And
We are old
been
friends.
a joy to be here.
Welcome to the Texas of the North,
Thank you.
and it's sorry to see you go. But also check out socials. Go see Ted Forbes socials. Check out Jordan and my socials. Listen to our podcast. We really appreciate that. You can see it on this channel or on all your favorite podcasting apps, and we should actually have you on the podcast.
We'll
We'd
do it
love
one
to
day.
have you as a
Yeah,
guest
love to
on
do
there.
it.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Chris Nichols.
Ted Forbes signing off. Later.
See you soon.